shelter is a primary need. Like, it's very simple. You need a house to live in. And I'm someone that's gone as long Bitcoin as possible, and I rent. And I've had a number of headaches from that decision, not necessarily from a financial returns perspective, but from a physical process of, like, I need somewhere to live.
Yeah.
And what's tricky is this difference between real estate as shelter and real estate as a financialized investment product. And they're kind of two different things. And I feel like they've decoupled pretty massively from, providing utility value to actually creating a kind of productized or financialized market for people to bet on. And we'll talk about store value later. But Australia is an interesting country in terms of its real estate market because of the different levers that are being able to be pulled. So, although it's a small country by population of 25 million or so, to my understanding, the percentage of migrants is as high in terms of population growth as some of the fastest population growth in the world in sub-Saharan Africa, as a comparison. So the amount of people that are migrating to the country is increasing the population at the same rate as places that grab the headlines for going crazy in terms of population growth. So people are arriving very fast, and with that they need hospitals, roads, farms, markets, schools, and houses. So, if you think back to those prices you were paying in 2002, 2005, they may have tripled by this stage. What is the main driver in that increase in price?
Your key drivers for property and real estate, especially in Australia, right? The Australian culture is brought up. The mantra is go to school, get a job, get an education, work hard, and buy yourself a house. That's what 99% of the population are taught, right? And that's where most people go. So people love real estate. They love bricks and mortar. But, I mean, you hit on some good points there a minute ago. Here we are in 2025. The Australian government, post-COVID, have brought in about 1.8 million people into this country. And that in the last 2 years.
Since 2020.
Yeah, since 2023. And in the last 2 years, they brought in...
So 800,000 a year.
Oh, easily. Wow. It was 1.2 million there at one point came in. But here's the thing. When you talk property, right, you're talking a really big macro market, right, because there's a lot of factors that affect real estate. So there could be things like employment. There could be bank financing and lending. How tight are the banks? Are they lending money out? Are they tight? Are interest rates high? Is unemployment high? Have people got jobs? Is there infrastructure? Is there business investment? Is there population coming into these areas? There's a whole mixture of stuff. It's always a moving game. There's one area or demographic. The government can bring in some rule changes like they did in Victoria. They introduced the COVID land tax. 30,000 investors sold properties down there and said, see you later, we're out. In Australia today, we've got a major rental crisis. We've got a rental shortage. There's not enough properties out there for people to live in. We've got a trades shortage. They can't get enough tradesmen to build these projects. There's billions of dollars of infrastructure going on around this country. So all the tradies are going to the big infrastructure projects because they're going to make 3, 4, 5 times the money they're going to make being out in the housing market building houses, right? So builders can't get tradies. Materials have gone up 30, 40%. So our costs to build have gone up. Big developers are shelving major apartment projects and big projects because they know they can't build them at the price that they done the feasibilities on 3, 4, 5 years ago when they were planning these projects. So a lot of projects are getting shelved. You add all those dynamics up and then introduce immigration. All these people have to live somewhere, right? And for me, I sit here as a property investor, and I don't like to see people going through hard times or tough times. I look at it from an investor's mindset and go, holy shit, this is an opportunity because these people need somewhere to live. So rents have gone up 20, 30, 40% in the last couple of years, right? So people understand the supply and demand. And I don't see this getting any better. The government's around there spruiking how they're going to build 1.2 million houses. Well, they haven't even built 200 in the last 2 years. So I don't know how they're going to build 1.2 in the next 5. And with all these dynamics going on, I just see property as a vehicle where they've now brought in the other thing affecting real estate in Australia right now. They've also brought in all these first homeowner grants, 5% deposits, bank guarantees, government guarantees. I don't agree with any of it because any time I've seen government involved in sort of property schemes, they always turn to shit, generally speaking. So you've got all these dynamics in play, and as an investor, I'm just sitting there going, I don't care what anybody says because I know the properties are going to keep going up. I know rents are going to keep going up. You've got the Greens that were wanting to stop people from putting up their rent and stop free enterprise. Well, those loonies have been voted out, thank God. And so there's all these factors at play that really, if someone's sitting there today and they want to build their wealth, they've got a home, they've got equity, they've probably got some cash as well in reserve, they've got a good job, they're earning good income. If they set it up and structure it, they could be buying investment properties, providing housing for people in the rental market that need it, getting a good rental return, interest rates are pretty good, properties are pretty much going to pay for themselves. They could actually start reducing their tax, start paying off their houses faster, have two properties going up in value, and they can be much better off.